Good evening, good evening, good evening.
Yeah.
Good evening, this fan's view.
Oh yeah.
Hey, I hate to start the show on a sad note, um, but I need to bring to the attention of a lot of people, especially people that know who Pete Looney was and is. He was a Havertown resident his whole life. He was a great friend and ambassador to Carl's Cards for many, many, many years. Always went out of his way to check on, I don't care who it was, checking on me, checking on Sue. He was always checking on everybody. He was just that kind of guy. And we found out late this afternoon that he passed away on Sunday, rather quickly. I still don't have all the details. His son swung by the store today. And all I know is he was enjoying life. He loved collecting. He loved meeting the players and getting autographs. A friend of his from work sent me 2 emails tonight. Pete was still talking about his 15 seconds of fame on television at our Eagles pep rally with Bill Berge and David Akers. So I know how much he enjoyed collecting and getting autographs, and we're going to miss him. We're going to miss him dearly. And it's sad because we've talked about how we've met certain people, and a lot of it comes back to, well, we met them at the store.
Right.
They were customers. They came in the store, and we became friends. He just started coming to Hanrahan's because it was convenient for him, and he enjoyed it, and we enjoyed having him. So it's a sad day, and I just I just think I don't like eulogizing and talking about people once they're gone, but unfortunately, this one hit home really, really quick this afternoon, and it's a sad day for us. Pete was my age, 66. We were both born the same year, 1956, so we're rather close in age, and it's you just never know. So enjoy every day like it's your last one, and again. Pete, I know you're looking down on us, and keep collecting.
Exactly.
Keep collecting, and share the sunshine with us. So
he's got a couple ladders to hold for people up in heaven too.
yeah, he does, because you gave him a job at Hanrahan's, didn't you?
Yep. You had to make sure I was safe, so he's gonna be missed. That's for sure.
Well, it's because he was in the contracting business. He worked for Kane Builders, and he knew the rights and wrongs of going up a ladder, I guess.
Exactly.
So, but anyway, rest in peace, Pete.
Yep.
On that note, I'm going to throw it over to John. He wants to talk a little bit about March Madness, and we're going to get our tournament pool started, I guess, Sunday, right, John?
Yep, Sunday night selection Sunday. So once the selections are all made, the brackets will be filled in on for ESPN.com. That we have our link is up on this fan's view page. So if you want to go on there, you could sign up in case you want to. You're not new. If you're new to ESPN, you can get yourself logged in. You won't be able to fill out the brackets until Sunday night, Monday morning type of thing. So, but at least you can get signed up. And that way there's no issues, signing in. You can get them worked out between now and Sunday. And it's going to be fun, like always. Carl's Cards and Collectibles will have a sponsor in it and have a nice item for us for the winners. So it'll be fun. We always had, good time with it. It takes a few minutes. Spread the word out to your friends. Keep it growing. I think we had like 60 some people last year. So.
And just like our football pool, it's free.
Exactly.
It's free and it's fun.
Exactly.
So
we get to talk some trash and have some fun.
There you
See
go.
who wins. But just make sure that it's when you do sign up, ESPN gives you a automatic name with an ESPN number. If you can, in between now and then, try to put your name on there or a name that is easy identifiable so that we know who the winner is if it does happen to be you. So
There you go.
it's all good.
Always fun and games at Carl's Cards.
Oh yeah,
Right,
absolutely.
Laurie?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
They got their plans working for this weekend when you're not around.
Yeah, I guess an email slipped through the cracks, and somehow I caught wind of it. So yeah, so anytime you can give back, why not?
That's right.
23%, huh?
Yep, 23% in honor of spring training 2023.
There you go. And hopefully, I mean, we have no concrete plans at this time, but we're gonna come up with some fun and games for next Wednesday as well. The show will be live somewhere. We're just not where we don't know where somewhere is yet. But we'll figure it out. We're gonna have some fun, and we'll figure out a spot, and hopefully the weather is kind to us. I hear it. The chill is in the air next week down in Clearwater, so I'm not looking forward to that. So yeah, some 60-degree temperatures. So
it'll warm up once you guys get down there.
I hope so. I hope so. But anyway, let's pick up where we left off last week. But we got to promise that we don't stick with it for 45 minutes on one team. But let's talk Sixers because they went 4-1 on this recent road trip.
Yeah.
Played really, really. In my mind, lights out basketball. The bench. Like I said, I personally thought Maxey deserved to be the starter, and he was for these 5 road games. And I think he proved that he's a starter in the NBA.
A starter or a little bit of a immature baby at the moment.
No, I'm.
He said it himself. He even said it himself that it bothered him that he wasn't a starter.
I look at results. And the results are there. He can play with Harden. He can play with Anthony Melton. He can play on the floor. He does a lot of different things. And I think the Sixers are better suited with him starting than coming off the bench. Anthony, you got any input there?
Yeah, I don't know if I feel a certain way or another. He probably feels more confident when he's starting, but I don't know. So I said last week if they went 4-1 on this road trip, you'd feel pretty good about them going into the playoffs. And it feels good that they went 4-1 and you feel okay, but I don't know that I feel as good as I thought I was going to be when they went 4-1. It's great, right? It's good. I thought I would feel a little bit more confident, like, hey, they're going to be secure in the playoffs. I don't feel much different than I did last week.
Why is that?
I don't know. I don't know. It's great that they won and they won those games and you have to win them.
I mean, they pretty much won like by a decent amount. They're, you know what I mean? They kind of blew them out last night, and it's not like it came down to 1 point.
No, I guess my thing is just you can't prove in those 5 games anyway. It's just the consistency. Like before this happened, I figured they could win any night if they really wanted to. And after this, I feel like they could win any night if they really want to. It's just a matter of once we get there, are they going to play that same way? Nothing really changed me in the last 4 or 5 days to think different. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I mean the Bucks game was a nice game. They were down early, 18 points or whatever it was, and for them to be able to come back and get that win was nice on the road. Which like you said, it should give you a little bit of confidence as a fan going into the playoffs that you could go out and beat them on the road if we had to. But we're going to have to beat them, a few times on the road because they most likely have the home field advantage for that series. So
So you don't think that those 5 games on the road showed you anything moving forward towards the playoffs?
No.
That they've taken the next step.
No. I mean, it shows that they're playing together as a team and they can win when you need it. That was never my concern. My concern was them being able to do it for a 7-game series multiple times. And I don't know that we're there. Yeah, this selection of 5 games makes you feel good, but I'm not confident that I could stamp that they're going to the championship from the East, right now. They could lose in the first round, or they can go deep into it, and I wouldn't be shocked either way. I was hoping that I could. I mean, it's good. It's good. Nothing's negative about it. It's all good stuff.
No, I'm not spinning it in a negative way, because we have our troubles with Boston. Boston has their troubles with the Knicks.
Sure.
There's everybody's got their little their little issues.
They could go all the way to the championship. I could see that, but I could also see, God forbid, they get tripped up in the second round because there's some guy that's on fire and they can't figure out how to stop them. The Sixers, I have a really tough time reading, so I don't really want to make a statement, yay or nay. Yes, it's good they won all those games. Yes, it's very exciting. People just seem to be back on the bandwagon over the last couple of days. But let's say they lose in the next 5 in a row, then people are going to be jumping off a roof. It showed that they can play together, which is most important when you get to the playoffs. I'm hopeful, very, very hopeful, hesitant but hopeful that they can go a little bit further once we actually get there.
Well, I mean, you like you said, you got 3 teams. You got Milwaukee, the Bucks, or the Milwaukee Bucks, and Sixers. You've got the three teams at the top that you got to worry about. And we don't match up a lot with them. I think the Bucks we match up the best with. When you come to that, but you're going to be on the road, so that second round exits, is a possibility. But it may not be a bad thing because you're playing against a good team.
Well, I think the one thing that gets me a little bit nervous, and John, you mentioned it with Maxey a little bit, not him per se, but just between that he can do it sometimes and Joel can definitely do it. I'm hoping that the immaturity doesn't happen once you get into the playoffs, because people know that Joel can be very fickle sometimes. So if you start fouling him and they're not calling the fouls, they can get into his head very quickly. If you can get in his head and Tyrese's head, and they know that, these teams, you're in trouble. So they need to play as strong as they did. They knew they went on that 5-game road trip, and they knew they had to win. When they get to the playoffs and you got to play Boston, whoever, 7 games,
right?
You better keep that mentality for full 7 games, not a day, for 7 games. They can beat anyone on any night. They just have to believe it in their head.
Right. It's a matter of being able to do it 4 times when you go through a series,
They can, you win 2 games and think it's over, then you could lose 4 in a row because you're not being serious. I mean, that's all. But I obviously they can do it. I think they can do it.
Yeah.
Lauren, thoughts?
I think I fall somewhere in the middle of all of this. I don't think I'm as hesitant as Anthony might be, but I'm definitely not as overly optimistic. I understand where Anthony's coming from. They still feel inconsistent at times. So I think I'd like to just see a longer stretch of the same play we just saw the last 5 games kind of carry over for a few more to feel better about it. You were without Harden last night, which was great to see everybody step up. You were without Embiid the first night on the road trip, so that was great. But I still, I feel that sort of similar. You kind of don't want to get too excited because you're not quite sure what's going to happen just yet. But I think the best possible outcome came out of that road trip, so that was great to see. It was great to see Tyrese step up and be what we needed him to be. I'd still like Doc to do a little bit more with the bench. Korkmaz got in the game for the first time last night in
a long time,
2 months, 3 months.
It was the last 4 minutes, but he got in.
Yeah. It's good to see Paul Reed getting, a lot of minutes each night. So I think we're getting there. We're closer than we were last week when we had this conversation, because I think last week I proposed the question of if they come out of this road trip opposite, where it was 1-4 or 0-5, God forbid, where they come in for Doc's job. So I think he saved himself from any of that happening. But yeah, I think I want to see just a few more games and to see how it goes before the season wraps up the beginning of April.
Okay.
I mean,
Well,
we've seen this, last year and the past couple of years we've seen this. They've had number one seeds. They've had great regular season games. It's what you do in the playoffs when you lost into Milwaukee.
And that's why I think, John, I feel like I'm a little, I don't want to say biased, but just seeing the last couple of years like this, if this was the first year it was like this and they were playing hard, I would say, yeah, I'm all in. But I just, from the recent years, I can't buy into it just yet. You power through the first series quickly and you let the other team win maybe one game in the second series, then I might be all in again. But just the last couple of years makes me a little pessimistic.
Right.
Well, I guess I'm the only one in the room that thinks that they're legit. This Harden Embiid combination is lethal, absolutely lethal. And I just look at this 4-1 road trip. They got a tough stretch coming up. They got 2 at home. You got the Trailblazers and the Wizards. And then you go back out on the road, Cleveland and the Hornets. And then things kind of get a little dicey because you're going up against the Pacers again. You go back to back with the Bulls, and then you go Warriors, Suns, Nuggets. So it's going to be the true test of fate there. But I just think, as long as Embiid's healthy and Harden are both healthy, they're lethal. Don't
you think it's a little funny? I mean, what a week can do, what 5 games can do, because
100%. That's why I brought it up right out of the gate, because I knew where we ended it.
But don't you feel like they're lethal when they're making the shots? Because hold on for a second, because if they missed them like they did at some of the games that we were at, and when you watch them on TV, then my first complaint is, why don't they pass the friggin' ball?
Well,
of course, when they make the shots, they're lethal. But if they don't, then it looks like they're not.
I know John doesn't think that Maxey belongs starting, but I think that is a step in a very good direction. The McDaniels trade is proven very, very successful.
Yeah.
You've added some pieces. They're not the same team. They're not the same team.
Oh, no.
And I just think if Embiid can stay healthy, he's unstoppable. I don't care who the big man is. I don't think there's a big man in the NBA that can stop him. Whether he I don't know whether you guys noticed it or not, but he took his game inside a little bit on this road trip. Both offense and defense. So maybe he listened to the show last week.
He might have.
Well, I actually don't mind. I don't know if I have a strong opinion one way or the other if Tyrese starts or not. I think he brings a young energy that no one else on that squad can bring. But what I think is fascinating is roll the tape from 1 week ago.
Right.
We trashed them. I mean, we talked about Embiid not knowing how to pass the ball. He's the only one that takes a shot. If he gets it, he doesn't give it up. The game can't revolve around him. And so I think that proves the point of the inconsistency.
Well,
one week ago, they were almost dead and buried to us. This week, they're the next coming of Christ.
That's what I think.
So who only knows what the next week will look like?
I think it all comes down to, at the end of the day, what is Joel Embiid's mindset? If Joel Embiid's going to, not pass the ball or get upset when he's fouled and act very immature like we've seen sometimes, it's not going to work, and people are going to get on him and they're not going to like it. If Joel Embiid's making all the shots and he's pointing to his crotch, then people are okay with it, So the key comes being down to consistent and his brain being in it. If his brain's in it, they're going to win. If he's not in it, they're not going to win. That's what it comes down to.
I think the past week, and we were dogging them last week. There's no doubt about it,
Yeah.
and they deserved it.
Last
you know
week,
what I mean? Because everything that we talked about, they weren't doing. We saw it. We saw it live and up close against Boston. A lot of times the effort, was being, we'll get the next shot. We'll get the next shot. Well, I just think the energy level for this road trip is something that we got to look forward to. I think they're going to move forward with this. You've got, like I said, this McDaniels kid is got there's a lot of potential there. And if coach uses him properly, I think we could have something there.
They just need to bring that same energy back home.
Absolutely.
You don't want to see the first game home and they lose by 20 or something ridiculous. You got
I
to
don't
be.
think there's. I don't care. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think there's been many of those blowouts where they, where they've absolutely, just completely, blown it up. But you know what? It's good. It's good juju to be talking about this from week to next, because I know next week we're going to throttle on baseball. So,
right.
Because we're going to be, in the backyard of what's the name of that joint down there? Bay City, Bay. What's it called?
Bay
something.
Bay
Care.
Yeah.
Bay Care Ballpark. So
I think that's the hospital down there, Bay Care.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I may need one after 10 days down there. So we'll see. We'll see. But no, it's great to and again, I don't want to sit here and go back and forth on the Sixers, because there's a lot of good Philly sports to talk about.
But I think we can all agree there's one team that hasn't gotten any better since last week.
100%.
Oh boy.
Yeah. I'm going to take a break. I'll let you
went
guys.
there.
Yeah, she did. Yeah, she loves every minute of it too.
Well, you mentioned in your blog a couple days ago that you didn't plan your trip accordingly because they were down in Tampa. Well, thank God, because that would have just been a waste of friggin' money.
I know, but it's still. I love that building. I love the Oregon. I love everything about Tampa. We need to take a page out of what Tampa does. How to run an organization, how to run a team, how to build a superstar, how to, they've probably, if he's not the number one goalie in the league, he's not far from it. They do everything right. It's
so
just
what, everybody talks about sell the team, fire Chuck, they wear bags on their heads to the game. But is anything actually going to happen? Or is this all just, for fun?
I don't know. Do I honestly think they're going to fire Chuck? No, I really don't.
Well, and they're not going to sell the team. That's not going to happen. It's a corporation that owns them. They're not, you know what I mean? They're not losing money, so that's not going to happen.
Is it really the fault of the GM? Because after the trade deadline and all that stuff happened, they said, hey, cut him some slack. He tried, and no one wanted any of the guys. So if no one wants any of the guys, what are you supposed to do?
But if we remember correctly, Howie got rid of some pretty bad contracts and some pretty bad players on the Eagles side and was able to make things happen.
Yeah, I mean, it's not an excuse. You got to figure it out. But at the end of the year, if you finish in the same spot that you were, I guess my question is, do you give it another? And I'm not saying as a, from a fan base, but from an outsider, would you give that person another year? Because it is relatively new in the coach's regime, and you didn't give them very much to start with. Now the fans won't like that. You're gonna have to make some type of move, but I don't know that you can bring it right back to the coach. Now I will say the coach is a guy that's been on the Rangers, a bunch of million teams over the course of the year. They might not think he's the long term, but I don't think after 1 year you can blame him per se, because you didn't really have much to work with here.
He didn't, but there's a little bit of rumblings that he's rubbing the players the wrong way.
The coach.
Yes.
Well, he's one of those hard-nosed guys. I remember with the Rangers when I lived in New York, I think he was the coach for a little bit. And there was always little rumblings coming out that so-and-so didn't like him, or he was a little kind of a hard ass, so some of the younger players don't like that. That could be true. It also could be riding the guys so they perform better. Not everyone performs better by doing that. So I don't know. I just feel like you can't blame him entirely, because what the hell do you want him to do? He took the job because he needed a job, and he was a veteran guy. But you can only do with what you got to work with. You got to figure out some moves. These contracts are kind of killing them is the problem.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see the direction that they go. You're going to have some dead money coming off. But again, I go back to the injuries, losing Couturier, losing Cam Atkinson, losing Ryan Ellis. Now most recently you lost Travis Konechny. These are injuries to proven winners,
right. Quality players,
leaders. They're quality players, and you don't have the leadership. The only guy that's wearing a letter on their sweater is Scott Lawton. He's the only assistant captain on the whole team. The rest of these.
How can he be an assistant to a captain that doesn't exist?
Well, I mean, I guess you got to. Somebody has to have an A to go to the official, and
I think that kind of sums it up, though, right? In general, that statement kind of sums it up in general. You got an assistant captain, and they don't even feel comfortable calling someone a captain because you don't know who's going to be on the team, and you don't know who's the leader. There's no leader.
By virtue of, if there's no captain, but there's an assistant captain, he's the captain, right?
I guess, but it kind of means like, if Bryce Harper is like a captain, he's the one that people look up to. Maybe this guy's not comfortable being that. I don't know.
Well, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I think at the beginning of the year he said, he would name a captain, who earned it. So I guess no one has earned it yet.
Right.
Well, and it's always tough. You as a hockey guy, that it's always tough playing in the East. There's always really, really, really good hockey teams. You might have a dip from year to year, but in general, those are some tough teams. So, you gotta be good to make it, and they're just not at that level of those other teams right now.
Oh, no doubt. I mean, you got teams. Look at the Blackhawks. How many cups did they win? 2 or 3? Mm-hmm. Excuse me. With Kane and Toes, and there you go. Let's blow it up. You know what I mean? And they Kane is now a Ranger. So what's Jack saying?
There's no captain on this team, but there's barely an NHL player on the team.
Well, and I think that's the problem sometimes. Not all the time. You can't say it always, but a lot of the times when there's a corporate ownership, unless you're putting the right people in place, a lot of times, and I'm not saying for the Flyers, but a lot of times they take it as a commodity that you own, like a hotel or something else. They're just trying to make money. I'm not saying that's happening with the Flyers, but it's a thought process that a lot of people have because you don't have that local ownership anymore. The first thing you do is to blame, the corporate management. Now, I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just saying that when you have that from one of those organizations, you have to keep that in mind that that's what the fans think. And if it's not the case, you got to show them why it's not the case. I don't think right now the fans in Philadelphia have the mindset that that's not the case. They think that's what's happening right now.
Well, to go back to your analogy of hotels, Jack thinks they're a Motel 6.
Right. So not even a good one, not even like a DoubleTree or like something nice.
And they'll leave the light on for you because they take plenty of penalties. No, it's difficult. You want to be a fan, and I'm a fan through it all, thick and thin. Some of these moves have been, you've questioned them from day one. It's just, we really, from a fan standpoint, you want to just see them blow it up. And to be honest with you, other than having some bad contracts, there's really nothing left but some young players.
Right.
So there really isn't, other than these bad contracts and these injured players that are probably never going to play again. Ryan Ellis probably not going to play. Cam Atkinson probably not going to play. Couturier, what are we, 2 years? 2 years in on this. I mean, will he ever see the ice again?
Probably not.
So we're probably, we're looking at, the 76ers version of a process here, basically.
Yeah,
I
I
think
don't think Torch is going to allow them to do that.
You know what? 5 minutes ago, one of you guys hit on the fact that I don't know. I don't know that Torch is going to be able to keep control of that locker room.
I don't know. I don't know that he's the long-term solution. Is he?
No, I don't know either. I mean, what you did last night. Who else did they sit? They sat Sanheim and another player for the whole second period. I mean, I know they took a couple of bad penalties. I get it. I understand. Farabee's been in the doghouse all year. He hasn't done what the coach has asked.
Well, the coach might not want to blow the thing up, but the coach might not have a choice. He might be gone and the thing might be blown up. Or he has to stay and deal with it because he won't be a coach anymore. At some point, I think the fans, because it's a fan base that really definitely cares about the team, at some point, you got to make a statement. Here's what we're doing. And I think people are accepting of that if they feel like you're being genuine. If you keep sort of dicking around like they have been, I don't know that they're going to deal with that for very long.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see. If you blow it up, do you think Fletcher will be the guy responsible for rebuilding? I do not. I personally do not think he could or should be the guy responsible. But I don't know who's the replacement. Who are you going to bring in? You're going to give it to an inexperienced Danny Briere? You know what I mean? Or who are you going to bring in?
Well, talking about Danny, I mean, do you think he pushes his way out if he's not going to get that job, because they blocked him from going to Montreal?
I do. I absolutely, because I think silence is golden. You haven't heard a peep out of him all year.
Right. Oh yeah.
No.
It's going to be an interesting offseason in general.
Yes.
I think once you get to the offseason, you're going to see moves, and if you see nothing really happen, then I would be very frustrated as a fan. If you see a lot of stuff happening, that's exciting because it means they're taking it serious. If it's same old, and everyone sticks around, you can't have that. Not in Philadelphia or a fan base like this. You can't do that.
Yeah. Well, let's keep things rolling, keep things fresh. I got a note last week that we spent entirely too much on one subject. So,
who gave you that note?
Somebody slipped it under my door.
Probably the same person that had that sale on the at Carl's Cards for this weekend.
But free agency, Eagles football, the combine's over. John, what are you hearing? You got some good inside sources. What are you hearing?
Well, if you're listening to Charlie Gardner Johnson, he's out of here, which is going to hurt. He's already said goodbye to Philadelphia, and we already know Bradbury's gone as well. And hopefully that means that Hargrave kind of said he was gone as well. So those are three big pieces of our defense that we are going to miss if we miss out on it.
Do you honestly think we lose all three?
Possibly, yes, and only because the one who's going to gain the most out of it is Jalen Hurts. I mean, Daniel Jones just got almost $50 million guaranteed, given to him. $40 million was guaranteed, I think, a year, and with incentives he could make almost 50. Daniel Jones isn't worth $50 million a year, $40 million a year, and it's going to, that's where it's going to,
Well, John, do
eat
you
up
think
a lot
that,
of the money.
do you think any of those guys take, like we talked about right after the Super Bowl was over, like, hey, don't get distraught. They got a lot of good guys. We talked about maybe those guys taking some type of hometown deal. Now, when you look back at the previous run, a lot of those guys that took a hometown deal, as you analyze it, were older guys that had played here for quite some time. So do you think some of these younger guys might do it, or they say, hey, no, I don't care where I'm playing. I just want to get paid?
I think they're going to go. I mean, Bradbury already said he wants to get paid as one of the top corners in the league. I'm worried about Charlie Gardner-Johnson getting stolen by the Broncos with Sean Payton being out there, his former coach that said that the Saints were insane to let him go. And Hargrave's supposedly going to get a big contract from the Bears. Offer that they're talking about.
So neither of those teams mean anything to the Eagles in our division.
Right.
Let's face it. When you build a winner, everybody wants a piece of you at that point.
Of course.
Look at the two coordinators.
Yep.
A couple other coaches gone. So you're gonna have those types of results because of being a very good football team. Now it's up to Howie to land another free agent to replace one of those top three guys that you're losing, or you need to draft accordingly.
Oh, of course. Yeah. I mean, they got spots, that they're going to be able to draft. Howie's good with that. He's already talking about potentially dropping back, the first two rounds of the picks, the first two first-round picks to, gain some more picks that are, I think they're third and fourth round picks. They're a little short on this year because of a couple moves, but they also may be getting a compensation.
Well, if anybody cares about Carl's scouting report, I'll take Porter out of Penn State all day long.
Exactly.
All day long. So look no further than Happy Valley for the kid to just come right in and fill a void.
Exactly. Yeah, he'd be perfect.
Well, let me ask you this, guys that probably pay attention more than I do. How many of these guys can the Eagles actually afford? Obviously some, they might need to lower the cost to afford some of them. But if no one did, what could they currently afford?
Well, supposedly right now they're $6 million under the cap at the moment. And you're going to lose a little bit of money with some of the other guys. Which I think they can make up to like $30 million that they could be under the cap. But most of that's going to get taken up by Jalen Hurts' contract. By being smart, signing them right now, they can use some of that signing bonus in this year's money so that the future years are a little bit less.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to have to restructure, a couple of guys again. Howie's good at that. That's what he does. And, it's a matter of, seeing who's going to do it this time and, where you can go from there.
Well, I think we're going to be looking back at tonight's show, in a week, 2 weeks, whatever the case may be, because I think Howie's playing, a solid game of poker right now. And he's going to land one of those three guys. They'll be back. I don't put a whole lot into, farewell Twitters and all that sort of stuff.
Oh yeah. That's just a stir the pot.
Exactly. It's just like AJ Brown and Juju Smith, they're still at their love affair,
right,
for each other. Howie's not going to let this team get dismantled over a couple of dollars. He's going to find a way to move some money around. He's very good at it. Let's not forget about our draft picks from last year who basically redshirted this year, right?
True.
They redshirted. Jordan Davis, Nakobe Dean. They need to be put in the spotlight and be starters next year. So, there's some good stuff that we have to look forward to. So,
yeah, I don't know about Derrick Henry there, Ronald. I mean, it's a nice name to get, but that's a lot of money coming his way. He's going to
Yeah, that would be another AJ Brown type contract.
exactly.
And
with Jalen Hurts' money here, it's going to be hard to do a lot of those kind of things. But just build it in the draft. I mean, if you get Joey Porter Jr. to fill in Bradbury's spot, that's a on paper at least it's a win-win.
Yep.
You get cheaper and a player that can play just as good.
Yep.
That you hope.
Yep.
Obviously you got to play on the field, but
yep, for sure.
All
right. Well, we'll see how things develop. Every day there's a new story. There's something else to read and chuckle about. But we'll dissect it all. You guys got any more on the Eagles before we move on?
No.
Nick just asked about the running back next year.
Yeah, that one's gonna be tough. I mean, they're gonna have to draft a guy. You got Boston Scott's and Miles Sanders and Scott are both free agents, and Gainwell's the one guy that they're talking about being here, but you're still gonna need somebody else to go along with him. So we'll see what happens.
Yep.
I think drafting a guy, third, fourth round will be good.
Yep. I'm not a big go heavy on the running backs because we don't run the ball enough.
Right. And we have our running back with Jalen Hurts, as well when we need it.
I don't know. I mean, if you had the dynamics of a Derrick Henry, how does that affect your offense?
Oh yeah, he needs the ball. So that's
right.
Yeah.
So
it didn't work so well in Tennessee with AJ Brown and him. So
right. Yep.
We'll
see. But let's keep this ball rolling and let's talk some baseball. It's
so what time do you leave tomorrow morning?
As early as possible.
All right. Well, Mom's not an early riser, so
that's why I said as early as possible. I'm hoping no later than 11 a.m.
11 a.m. Okay.
I'm hoping.
Well, your mom said she's staying up all night. She's going to sleep on the way down.
Smart.
She's not staying up all night. I can guarantee that.
No.
That's her plan. She's too excited.
No, we'll hopefully be on the road around 10ish. That's my ultimate goal.
It was 11. Now it's 10.
And Nick, I think they're painting them red.
Jesus.
Nick wants to know about the painter.
Oh yeah, we're gonna talk about that. But did our boy Harper report today? I think his wife did. His wife did.
That's what I heard. I think I heard his wife did, and
she's
Harper's
buying everybody beers too.
Yep.
Right, I think so. I think she's taking after Jamie.
Jamie was relocating gift cards all around the ballpark over this past weekend, which I don't know what she does for a living, but she's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I think she's actually cooler than her husband. So
Definitely.
I'll go on record with that.
All right. Whatever you say.
The Citizens Bank ballpark gift cards to Frenchie's gift cards.
Well, I guess there were Phillies gift cards that they could use down there in Clearwater.
There you go.
So, pretty cool though. I don't know. I don't know what the deal with Painter is. I guess by prolonging a comment to the fans, does that throw a negative spin on this? Like there's an injury there that we're trying to cover up.
I don't know about covering up, but yeah, I think it's a bad sign. His agent Scott Boras is in town, as well. With this issues to see what's going on to protect them. So
that's half the problem.
Well, he's just trying to get a deal for Reese Hoskins.
He could be that as well. Yeah,
before he loses his job.
Well, Painter's not going to say anything on his own. He's
right.
He's got an agent, and he's been trained over the years to be a number one guy. He's not going to say a word. So this comes as someone else saying it, and I'm imagining the Phillies are hesitant to say anything until they exactly know what's 100% going on. Now, that's not a great situation for the fans who want to know yesterday. But wouldn't you rather have the guy be healthy than make a stupid statement right now?
Yeah, but
Earlier today on 97.5 The Fanatic, I guess they had Jason Stark on. And he was quoted, "Unless people are misleading me here, there's no indication that this is anything serious."
Yeah,
Okay.
I think they're just trying to play it safe. You know, people want him theoretically and on the Phillies. You know, I imagine he's going to end up on the Iron Pigs and then eventually get to the Phillies. I mean, the guy didn't play that many games in Reading, so to expect him to actually be on the Phillies is a pretty damn big step. I know they want him. I know they want to win the World Series, but would you rather have a guy that's ready, or would you rather have a guy that's rushed just so you have a name up there and you can sell a couple shirts? I'd rather a guy that's ready.
right. I mean, plus he's only had 26 major league starts, and they're all in the minor leagues.
Speaking of shirts, I'm not buying any more shirts until
At least, hey,
until they retire or something, because I'm tired of changing jerseys.
I learned that long ago with the Pirates. You buy a Clemente and Stargell and nothing else because it's not worth it.
Wow. Killing my pocket. Killing me.
So what are you most looking forward to over the next 10 days?
Eating as many grouper sandwiches as I can.
Oh my goodness.
There you go.
Drinking as many cold Miller Lights as I can.
Okay.
Um,
Is there a particular game you're interested in seeing or a particular player you're interested in catching up with?
well, of course, I'm going to chat it up with Derek Hall. Because he's my guy. He'll always be my guy, and I'm pressing hard to that he becomes our permanent first baseman at some point. From a standpoint of right now, we've got 2 games. Sundays we're in the picnic area, so I'm looking forward to that with Sam and Adam. So that's going to be a lot of fun. And the obvious is St. Patrick's Day, but I'm disappointed because there's no green jerseys.
Right.
How can you not have a green jersey on St. Patrick's Day?
That's the new Nike agreement for you.
Tug McGraw is rolling over in his grave.
That's Major League Baseball. I don't know who dropped the ball there, but the one thing you got to think of, you can't have only so many jerseys. The one date people should always remember is St. Patrick's Day for all the teams, because whoever the home team is, whether you're home or away, they probably sell a lot of merchandise online. So I'm imagining, if I had to guess, it's going to be a 1-year thing. And no matter what the deal says for next year, it's going to change because they're losing out on a lot of money. Now, I get there'll be T-shirts for sale that are green. It's a little different, though, when your team wears green and you wear green. You feel like you're in it a little bit more. So I imagine it's only going to be a 1-year thing. I think someone kind of dropped the ball there.
Yeah, I'm disappointed. And I'm most disappointed because what did they do with the jerseys after the game? Lauren, I'll let you answer that question.
They auction them off.
Exactly.
Which all the teams do. That's another reason why you should do it, because I'm making it up. If the jerseys cost you $4,000 and you bring in $30,000, you cover the cost of the jersey and $26,000 to charity. I think someone just kind of
somebody forgot to fill the paperwork.
Someone didn't fill out the paperwork in time. Now I will say, Major League Baseball had you do that with the amount of conversation there's been. It hasn't just been Phillies; other teams have talked about it too. I think it's going to change for next year.
We have a guest in from Florida. We got to get in while his Wi-Fi is good.
Oh boy!
So we got to get him. He's getting a little cold feet, maybe, or a little nervous. We got to calm him down.
Well, he's been drinking since 10 a.m., so this ought to be
good. So here we go. I'll bring him out. Here comes Shawnee.
Hey, guys. It's hard to hear a little bit. I'm sorry. I just saw the post, so.
You guys want to put an app in or wait a second?
I'm at Jimmy's now.
We're
starting to. My table's ordering, so I'll introduce my table. There's Joe. Hey, Carl, Stephanie.
Hey, there's
my buddy Dave.
You're cutting our heads off.
Well, I can't help that. Let me go out here.
That's Dave from Arizona, correct?
Yes. All right, so I'm out here now. So yeah, it's good vibe down here, guys. So can't wait till you guys get down here.
All right. All right.
How's the weather?
What's that?
How's the weather?
Weather's great. It's probably about 60 degrees tonight. It was 80 degrees today. We Joe and I drove down 16 hours and then hit the pool when we got here, and Dave and Stephanie flew down here. So yeah, weather's great. The weather's been phenomenal. So we're hoping to catch a game tomorrow and on Friday, and then maybe we'll treat Joe to a Phillies Yankees game in Tampa. So we'll talk about that, Carl, when you get down too.
As long as he behaves.
What's that?
As long as he behaves.
Oh, he'll behave, definitely.
All right.
He knows the rules.
All right. Well, put me in those grouper bites and I'll be down.
There you go. It's there. So, but here, I'll do a screenshot. I'll switch it around to Jimmy's with the got an acoustic band going on here. Been a nice crowd here. There you go.
Do you think he did a sunset shot?
I would hope so. I'd be disappointed. Did you do a sunset?
Yeah, I missed the sunset shot tonight. I missed that.
Oh, Sean.
Come on.
Well, I got 2 weeks. I got 2 weeks to catch up.
All right. That's good.
Yeah, you know the priorities today.
But I'm telling you, it's the vibe is great down here. So I can't wait till everybody gets down. I can't wait till next Thursday. Baseball, wedding, and yeah,
All right.
I'm in heaven right now.
Nice.
All right. Well, keep
Enjoy.
the cold ones on ice.
We'll do. I got about 90 beers on ice right now, Carl.
Oh,
So
my
you're
God.
waiting.
There you go. You're a good man.
So,
All right. Thanks for checking in.
absolutely. And I apologize for my tardiness. I just saw it when I got here and everything like that. So I'm glad you guys included me in this and whatnot. But yeah, I can't wait, guys. Get down here. We're having some fun, man.
All right.
Good luck with
Sounds
everything.
good.
All right.
All right.
Absolutely. See you guys.
Cheers. Cheers. Yeah, well, we know all about Jimmy's, don't we, Lauren?
Oh, Jimmy's is a good spot.
Yeah. Yeah. So where were we? We were talking Phillies. We were talking green jerseys, right? We were
We're talking green jerseys. So yeah, no green jerseys this year, but I mean, fingers crossed for good weather. And there is really no place like St. Patrick's Day at the Phillies.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Looking forward to it. So,
Now, on your drive down, will you stop at south of the border?
well, I hear it doesn't exist anymore.
What?
Well, since COVID.
I hear, the only thing there is the gas station. So I guess I need to answer that question tomorrow afternoon sometime.
I'm going to need
So-
an answer to that. I was excited to show Anthony.
That's a shame. I never got to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're missing the 10-cent bumper sticker.
Well, that is accurate, but it's you have
It's
to
the
experience
experience.
it.
Well, we can go anyway. We'll see what's
It's
doing.
a whole nother culture at south of the border.
Yeah, I don't understand how it's profitable. I don't know who stays there. I don't know who supports it or frequents
It sounds like no one.
I feel like everyone just drives through and mocks it and
Leaves.
laughs and then leaves.
Well,
Yep.
I want to go. I don't know if it's in that area. That might be the other side of the but this gas station Buc-ee's. You ever hear about this gas station Buc-ee's? It's got like a little beaver as the mascot. They said it's the best.
The south of the border got people cut them off.
Ah,
Can you hear us?
You guys are
Buc-ee's?
frozen up. We can hear you.
Something about Buc-ee's?
Yeah, this gas station Buc-ee's, they say it's like the best in the country. It's got like the best gas station reviews. It's like quadruple the size of all the other gas stations. They said the food is excellent. I don't know if it's
Really?
I don't know if it's on the way to Florida. This might be closer to like another area in the South, like maybe Texas or something. I've heard nothing about. I've heard a lot about Buc-ee's, but I don't know.
He's never driven to Florida before, so he's not really quite
Yes, I
sure
have.
the direction.
Yes, no. I'm not saying.
We're-
Well,
we're
I
not
guess
even
he's
in
not if he's
Texas.
going to go to Texas first, Lauren.
I'm not saying that we're going to Texas. I'm saying Buc-ee's.
Shawnee, we might miss the wedding because we took a detour down to Texas. And
Has anyone seen Lauren and Anthony?
I'm saying I don't know if it's in
What?
Florida, but this Buc-ee's in the South somewhere. It's supposed to be the place to be.
This show just took a shit. I'm sorry.
We'll have to do some research on where Buc-ee's is specifically before we
I'm
just start.
sorry, and excuse my language, but
I think
Yeah.
it is. We saw it like Georgia.
I don't
Yeah,
know
I think
about
it's
no
there.
Buc-ee's.
Yeah, but we were on the other side of the states.
We're gonna find a Buc-ee's. Don't you worry.
We're finding
Oh,
a
my
Buc-ee's. Sean, I might miss the wedding, but it was to see if these reviews for this gas station were worth it or not.
I heard the chicken there is good.
Yeah, they got like their own. They got their own Buc-ee's bobbleheads. They got everything. It's like a Walmart for a gas station. It's amazing.
Well, I'm hearing it's a life size of Ollie's.
Oh, gee. Well, I like that too. I don't mind Ollie's.
Hey, can we get you off the subject of Buc-ee's and give us an update out there in baseball town? Because
Yeah, we
you
got.
guys have had nothing but great weather this year.
Nope, every day. Yeah, 34 days, I think, 34, 33 days to the start of the season. Yeah, I mean, the bricks all up. All they have to do pretty much at this point is put up the billboards and everything after that. The windows too, obviously, but there's no one in there, so there's not a necessity for that right this second. Once they put the billboards up, it's really just doing the inside, which we knew was going to take another year. So it's pretty, it's pretty substantial when you see the building in person. It's gigantic. Now it's gigantic, but it also kind of looks like it had always been there, which was the point of doing it in brick.
Right.
The outfield wall is not up yet. It will be up. It will definitely be up in the next probably 20 days or so.
Do we know dimensions? Do we know dimensions to center field yet?
No, it's definitely shorter to center field. That's why the wall's about 28 feet in height. There was no other way to do it but to move that in a little bit. So if you hit a home run to center, it's going to have to be 28 or 30 feet. If you hit a home run a couple feet to the left, it's only 8 or 9 feet. So
Okay.
yeah, but there was no really other way to do it. We're going to have a couple actually signs in like the batter's eye area, which are interesting. No team really has it. They're so high because the building's so high that we actually got permission from Major League Baseball to have a couple signs actually theoretically what would be a batter's eye, but because it's so high, you don't have to worry about it. But when you go out there, it's amazing. If you're standing on the deck in left field, having a drink and you see this building, it kind of like advertises for itself, like events, because you're going to see this ballroom with lights on and 150 people out on this little deck awning area. Even though it's not fully up, it looks amazing from what it is so far. So yeah, they've been doing a great job. They're there every day. Between that, and we haven't had a press conference yet about the lights, but I think I mentioned it. We're going to put, all new lights in, sort of like I don't know.
They dance.
Yeah, I don't know if Clearwater has it. I don't remember offhand. I know in Bradenton they have, the Pirates win or whatever. There's like the lights change colors. They can change yellow and black, and you could write Pirates in the lights. I think the Phillies might have that, but
I don't think they're going to do Pirates though.
No, I imagine not. But
And they don't get to use them very often.
yeah, at the one time they used them. But no, the lights can, flick red and blue and say Phillies and say different things in them. So the lighting itself will be another, press conference announcement. There's a lot of different things we're about to announce over the next couple of weeks that are going to have people interested if they're not already. But it's been nothing but good things this year.
How are ticket sales?
Very, very good. With the Phillies and Eagles doing so well, we're doing super well. The typical ones are the high sellers, the Mega Blast and all those, but the wrestling night and the guy from Howard Stern, all the different things we're doing, all those specialty nights, everything is trending back to where it was 2018, 2019 before COVID, which is all you can ask for.
Good.
Right. Very
Good.
nice.
Very cool. Lauren, update at Humane. How are the animals?
We're doing relatively well. We're pretty full on dogs right now at our Berks location. So looking forward to you and Mom coming to see Sully when you guys come back from Florida. I'm sure he'll be there at this point. But we do have a St. Caddy's Day adoption weekend happening next weekend, which is for all of our cats. They'll be $3.17.
Maybe Sue can use a cat, like a $3. I'll give you the $3. You just got to put in the 17 cents. Maybe she'll like a cat.
So there's two things. Let's take away two things from that. One, he won't give you the 17 cents. He'll
Right.
just give you two, I said Sully was a dog.
No, I said you said you
Not
have
a
cats.
cat.
Maybe she'll like a cat in the meantime.
No. We're getting a
You
dog.
could bring the cat with you to Florida. It'll be nice bonding time.
Sully's got all the right ingredients. I just, when you said he doesn't get along with other dogs, that could be a problem.
Do you have other dogs?
Well, no, but our neighbors do.
Oh,
Our neighbors do. So
They
they'll
got
make
cats.
friends. You got that dog park there. They'll make friends.
yeah,
All right. Anywho, so anyone
I
interested?
love the
in
name. I absolutely love the name, and I love his markings, and I love everything about him. So
Yeah,
Oh,
he's a big boy, and he's been with us since the middle of January. So we're trying to move him along as quick as we can. He's a big guy for a little kennel.
yeah,
But yeah, so next weekend we'll have a St. Patrick's Day themed cat adoption weekend for all of our cats. So if you're in the market for a cat, we can hook you up with 1 or 4. And that's pretty much it. We have our walk coming up on May 6th, so that I've been spending a lot of time doing that. So that's exciting. What did she say, Dad?
what about the Easter egg hunt?
Oh, right. There's an Easter egg hunt that we are kicking off this year. Eggs. It's an egg hunt for dogs. So you guys can sign up your dogs to come hunt for eggs in our dog park. I have no idea how that's going to go, but we're going to find out. So it should be a lot of fun, though.
Good.
We gotta talk to the Easter Bunny about scheduling the weekend at Carl's Cards. We got to do that. We got to talk to him soon.
That was a winner. That was a winner last year.
Yeah, we got to do that. Bring that back.
Yeah,
That
I'm
was
going to
a
do the
winner.
Easter Bunny on April 1st at my dog park event, and then April 8th at Carl's Cards.
$3.
All right.
It doesn't cost $3.
All right. Well,
He might be able to get the Easter Bunny might be able to get the 17 cents by then.
Right.
Yeah, maybe.
That's right.
We'll see.
Johnny, you got everything under control? You good?
Oh yeah, all good. All good.
All
Just-
right.
Just make sure you check out the link on our page there for the March Madness and join and have fun.
All right, there you go. I'm gonna call it an evening so I can get to bed early because I got an early rise tomorrow.
Yep. Safe
So-
travels. Enjoy.
Safe travels. Yes, most definitely.
Let us know about south of the border.
Absolutely, guys. Thank you. Thanks everybody for joining the show. We'll be back at it again next Wednesday. We're not sure of our destination, but we'll find a cool spot.
Yep.
We'll find a cool spot and we'll pick up this conversation once again.
Yep.
All
And
right.
if there's no south of the border, they're going to have to go to Bucky's.
Yeah, go to Bucky's.
Yep. That's right.
Bucky's. All right, guys. Be well.
See ya.
Take care. Have a good night.